Ever felt like a fraud, even when you're crushing it? Like one day someone's going to barge into your office, point a finger, and yell, "Gotcha." This is imposter syndrome, and it's got way more members than you think. For real, y'all. At least like 70% of the people in this country experience imposter syndrome. So, what exactly is imposter syndrome? Well, imposter syndrome isn't about pretending to be something you're not, it's about believing you're not enough, despite, yes, despite all the evidence to the contrary. It's that nagging voice. Y'all know that voice that be in your head whispering you don't belong even when your name could be on the door. Ain't that crazy? So I'm going to have to break this down as far as exactly what imposter syndrome is. So the very first thing, it's a chronic self-doubt, even when you're qualified. Number two, you're going to credit your success to luck or timing, right? Instead of your actual born right skills. Number three, you're either overworking or overthinking as if effort alone will prove your worth. That's not true. It doesn't matter how talented or successful you are. Imposter syndrome does not discriminate. It preys on everyone, from students to CEOs to anybody, right? Maya Angelou once said, "I have written 11 books, but each time I think, they're going to find me out now." Ain't that crazy? It's Maya Angelou. So if Maya Angelou felt like this, it's safe to say you're not alone. Imposter syndrome isn't just annoying either. It's limiting. Now, stay with me. This is how it's limiting. So, number one, you can have career stagnation. You hesitate to apply for promotions or take risks because you're convinced you're going to fail, right? You're convinced that you don't deserve those roles. That's the reason why I said, going back to that number two reason, right, as far as what imposter syndrome is, right? One of those key things is that you're giving external things, right? Your success, right? As I said, you're giving all of your praise, your glory to external factors, luck, timing, somebody helping you out, right? There's so many other external factors. But because of that, you're going to be scared to take those risks because you don't think you deserve to be there. You're convinced you're going to fail. Number two, you burn yourself out, man. You overwork. You're trying to earn your place. But at the end of the day, you're just going to be exhausted and you're not going to feel confident. And then lastly, you're going to lose opportunities. You stay quiet in meetings, right? You avoid the spotlight. You're not even going to raise your hand, right? You settle for less because you're afraid of exposing yourself. And it doesn't stop there. It can bleed into your personal life too. You might constantly seek validation from others or struggle to even believe you deserve those relationships, right? Or achievements. Does this sound familiar? If it does, let me know, man. Let me know. Because once again, like I said, 70% of the people will experience imposter syndrome at some point in their lives. So that means that 7 out of 10 people in a room will experience this. So why does it feel so lonely? Because we don't talk about it enough. That's the reason why I'm talking about it now with y'all, right? Once again, if you're feeling this, let me know if you've gone to experience this or something, man. So why does this even matter, right? Imposter syndrome doesn't just affect individuals, it holds back entire systems. For example, for organizations, talented people are going to second guess themselves. It's going to lead to fewer ideas, less innovation, and then fewer risks. That's always bad for the company. That's always bad for the organization. For education, students from underrepresented backgrounds might feel like they don't belong despite their brilliance. Okay, that's just me. And even for society, it is going to just push out inequalities, keeping marginalized voices out of leadership roles and decision-making spaces, right? Because once again, everybody's scared to say something, right? Somebody's going to say, "Hey, you don't belong here. What you even doing here? How you get in this room? Boy, I hired you." Right? Come on, man. But here's the good news. Imposter syndrome isn't a permanent sentence. It's a phenomenon. So it's not a diagnosis. This is not permanent, right? It's something you can recognize, challenge, and overcome. Once again, imposter syndrome is actually called imposter phenomenon. This is not a diagnosis. But for now, here's your takeaway. You ain't alone, and you're not a fraud. Science, education, whatever your field you're in, right? It doesn't care about where you came from. It cares about your mind. You're here because you want to stop feeling like a fraud and start owning your own accomplishments. In the next video, I want to talk about how to recognize the signs of imposter syndrome.